My message to the people of Cleveland about the prosecutor, Timothy McGinty, is hold him responsible for allowing a murderer to go free. You cannot have this guy get away with this. He doesn't have a soul. That's why I'm out here, because I realized, hey, it does seem to be over out there. I didn't come out right away, but I realized, wow, nobody's protesting anymore. It's like it was shoved under the rug, and that just went against every grain in my body. That something like this could be over so quick. But I know why. I know why. People in Cleveland and oppressed people everywhere, they feel so disenfranchised. They've been beaten down so long, so hard, that they realize, I can't do anything. It's hopeless. It's a psychological term. The psychological term is called learned helplessness. People actually learn through previous experiences to feel helpless. Learned helplessness. It's a psychological term, and that happens to people. And my message about the Tamir Rice case is you were screwed. Big time. This is a travesty of justice. An innocent boy got killed, and nobody is being held accountable. What are you doing? I'm in Cleveland for the same reason I go everywhere to protest. And that is, number one, to show solidarity with the people, to let them know, hey, you're right in what you're saying. You're getting screwed, and you're right, and I'm going to let you know that. And it helps them to feel good about, hey, here's the epitome of an establishment person coming out and saying we're right. And it really helps. To show solidarity helps them, encourages them. The second reason I'm out here is to let people know that a grave injustice has happened here. And when I say people, I really mean white America. White America still thinks of Officer Friendly. They think he exists. Officer Friendly died years ago, and perhaps Officer Friendly never even existed. Okay, but white America goes along with everything the police do because of your major media constantly showing the rioting, the burning, the looting of black people. I was in Ferguson 21 days. When I'm back in my motel room, I'm watching the TV. And all I saw was rioting and looting. The same thing. The same pictures of the flyers, the same pictures of the looting. The same picture of, see, there's so many of them, I get them mixed up, of Michael Brown Jr.'s stepfather. He was up in a car and he said, burn this place down, burn this place down. I saw it so often, I actually timed it. Every 15 minutes they were showing Michael Brown Jr.'s stepfather saying that. There's a reason that these filthy, rich white men who own the media show that over and over. They want all of white America to fear the black. They're hiring these John Wayne types, and this is what you get when you hire. Well, this guy's a total exception. This guy has mental illness, and he was still hired. And there was a write-up by the chief of his former police department who was going to fire him. He quit before he got fired, and he said this man is totally incapable of carrying a firearm. You have to understand, a lot of the cops, they only deal with police. I mean, they only deal with the public under very confrontational situations. They do not get called to weddings. They don't get called to birthday parties. It's always confrontational. So there is a side that the police have to deal with, and it's always hostile. Even when you give a traffic ticket, that's hostile. People don't want to get traffic tickets. There's always that edge, always that little anger that people have when you approach them as a cop. So they see everybody, I'll put it very bluntly, police say there are two types of people, cops and assholes. That's what happens, that's the feeling you get. And when you start feeling like that, you don't respect people. So the person who put the call out, the police dispatcher, who just put it out as a black male with a gun and not a child with possibly a toy gun, she did the right thing. She resigned. Obviously, she has a conscience, and it got to her, and that's a shame. But she didn't take her job seriously enough. And as a dispatcher, you've got to take your job just as serious as the officer in the street, and she didn't. And subsequently, she resigned. So that's taken care of. She resigned. But I want to know why the person who hired this guy still has a job. They want them to think, oh my God, those black animals, I don't want them in my neighborhood. This all goes along with accepting militarization of the local police departments. Because now when you have all of white St. Louis and Missouri and all of the country seeing and they call black animals, rioting, burning. All of white America is saying, quote, not only will I allow my police department to become militarized, I want my police department to become militarized to protect me and my family from those black animals coming into my neighborhood.
What is your message about this Mayor Weiss case?
What the hell are they doing? What are they doing? When I saw them drive up right next to the young man, you don't do that. Common sense tells you if there's a man supposedly with a gun, you don't drive right up to him. Police policy is, as soon as you see this suspect, you stop your car, you exit your vehicle, you take cover behind your car, you point your weapon at the individual, and you shout, "Police, drop the gun." And that's from as far distance as you can be. To drive right up on that individual was insane. Second thing, Lohman was not the driver. So I do not hold Lohman responsible for that. The driver was Officer Garmbach.
And he has a history.
No, I didn't know he had a history. But I'll tell you what I do know about Officer Garmbach. He has the official title of a training officer. Means a rookie drives with a training officer to learn the job on the street. How in the world does a training officer drive right up to a man allegedly having a gun? It blows my mind. And when I saw him reaching in his waistband, which by the way, reaching in his waistband is the universal excuse cops give to justify a bad shooting. All right? So anyway, he said it 3 times. You can tell just by watching that film, he had no time to say it 3 times. He jumped immediately out of that car and shot. This is just a fiasco which is being perpetrated on the people of Cleveland, and it's a disgrace. It's a gross miscarriage of justice. When you go from having a state that's not open carry to open carry, that puts a big responsibility on the police. The police department has got to come out with a policy. All right, guys, it's a new ball game. People can walk around with guns. Here's how we're going to handle it. And that can be several ways. One way you can respond to open carry law is say, hey, we're not going to do anything. If it's open carry law, if you see somebody with a gun, don't do anything. Or you can say, hey, if we see somebody with a gun, go up nice and courtesy ask them, excuse me, but do you have a permit to openly carry that gun? That's it. You have to have a policy. I want to know what the policy was in Cleveland when open carry was introduced. Or did they not have a policy? And if they did not have a policy, oh man, that reflects really poor on your police commissioner. And the other thing now, when you have open carry, why would you dare, why would you even think of being ready to kill somebody when it's an open carry state? Even if this individual did pull out the gun, he was going to pull out the gun. But first of all, that's nonsense. Okay.
It looks like he was lifting his shirt.
You do not want to. Even a 12-year-old kid knows better than to pull out a gun, a toy gun, when the police are coming. But even if he did, he may have a permit to have that gun. I know exactly how Officer Darren Wilson approached Michael Brown Jr. and his buddy. I know how because I was 24 years a cop, and every cop knows exactly what Darren Wilson said. I mean, yeah, Officer Wilson. You have to realize you had 2 black men walking in the street, and I guarantee you, Michael Brown Jr. would be alive today if Officer Wilson, Darren Wilson, had rolled up and said, excuse me, gentlemen, but would you please walk on the sidewalk for your safety and the safety of motorists? Michael Brown Jr. would be alive today. But being a cop, I know exactly what Officer Darren Wilson said. He pulled up next to 2 black guys and said, yo, get your fucking black asses out of the street. Michael Brown Jr., growing up with hearing way too much of that, maybe said something like, whoa, man, why do you have to talk to me like that? Oh, Darren Wilson doesn't like that, so next thing you know, you have a tussle. And sure, of course Michael Brown Jr. was grabbing Officer Darren Wilson's gun, because Darren Wilson had it out. Trent McGinty had the reconstructionist expert testify in front of the grand jury. This reconstructionist expert was hired, I believe, by Tamir Rice's family. That individual, who has a history of reviewing these type of things, he enlarged the videotape, he watched it 100 times, he calculated time and whatnot, and he himself said it is totally impossible for Officer Lohman to have informed Tamir to show his hands 3 times before he was shot. Why did not McGinty have that individual testify in front of the grand jury? Because McGinty did not want the grand jury to hear that. The grand juries are a fraud. Grand juries are put out there to satisfy the public, to make the public believe that, hey, we're going to get justice now because it went to a grand jury. We don't have to trust the police if we have a grand jury. Grand juries are easily led by the DA. The district attorney, he can present evidence to make a case go this way or make a case go that way. And McGinty knew from the beginning which way he wanted his case to go. One reason here you have these district prosecuting attorneys go this way is because they are damn fearful of corrupt police unions. McGinty does not want to incur the wrath of the Cleveland Police Union when it comes election time. Because more than anything else, more than life, more than being honest, prosecuting attorneys want to hold on to their jobs. Because they're very prestigious, they have a whole lot of perks, and they wouldn't get a job anywhere else with that much glamour and importance. So they do not want to turn off the police union, so they're in the palm of the police union. Same thing out in Ferguson, that there's justice brought. He cares about his job. What he does not want to do is to incur the wrath of a corrupt police union. And I can say that about Cleveland, even though I don't know a thing about Cleveland's police union, because I know all of them are corrupt. My name is Ray Lewis. I'm a retired Philadelphia police captain, and I came to Cleveland for 2 reasons. Number one, I wanted to show the people in Cleveland solidarity, to let them know, hey, here's a man who's the epitome of America. I mean, he's a white male police captain, and he's saying that we are right, that we got screwed by McGinty. And I want to let them know that and feel secure in their knowledge of that. The second reason I come is because I want to have people more involved in their local government. Have people realize that, hey, maybe we can do something. But you got to get out on the street, and you can't quit after a couple cold days. And I'll be out here if they come out. But I can't stay out here forever, by myself. But I hope to motivate some people to get back involved and demand justice. You have to hire different individuals. They have this John Wayne syndrome. The most important test given to an applicant to the police force is called the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory Test, MMPI for short. It measures your personality, 500 questions, and after you take that test, your personality they'll define it to a T. They know exactly what type of person you are. What they're doing is they're hiring people that are not sensitive, because they don't think sensitive people can take the job, the blood and guts. They're wrong. Sensitive people can take the horrors of police work. Social workers see horrendous conditions. I don't see a whole bunch of social workers quitting their jobs. Nurses in ER rooms experience tremendous blood and guts. I don't see a whole lot of nurses in ER rooms quitting and leaving. Social work type of personality needs to be hired for police. That's got to be done. That's the first step before they even enter. Then you have to have a whole bunch of other steps. You have to have different training at the police academy. You have to get rid of all this physicality, this hitting, this punching, this shooting, the baton, the blackjack. It's all physical. You got to start teaching cops how to relate to people that are of a different culture than them. You have to teach cops how to de-escalate the scenes verbally, not physically. The first way they handle de-escalation is physical. You can't do that. So you have to have people come in and talk to the cops about their situations to help cops understand. You got to bring a prostitute in, and you got to have the prostitute talk to the police class. Here's why I'm a prostitute. Because my husband was nailed and framed by the police for having marijuana. So now I don't have a husband. I can't pay the rent. I can't feed my food. I got to prostitute myself. She feels so bad when she comes home at night that she has to take drugs to free herself from that guilt. She's got to let Cops have no respect for prostitutes, obviously. She's got to relate, hey, I am a human being. These are the situations that led me to where I am. You have to have people in these ghettos, in these minority sections, come in and talk about their lack of education, talk about their lack of health, talk about the way they've been discriminated against, oppressed, and exploited. You have to have, and so for that to sink in, you have to have social work type of mentalities. None of that's going to sink into John Wayne Hardhass. So these are some. Then you have to have mandatory training. None of this counseling, voluntary counseling. No cop will go to voluntary counseling. He thinks he's too damn strong. He doesn't need it. In fact, John Harrington, the late president of the Philadelphia Union, stated the only stress program a cop needs is a shot and a mug of beer. Now, what does that tell you? All right. So you have all these cops suffering. A lot of them from PTSD. A lot of them are veterans from the war. A lot of them get PTSD from the job. And they think the only stress program a cop needs is a shot and a mug of beer. They're never going to go to counseling. Therefore, you have to institute mandatory counseling. And these are all steps that the community has to engage in. Another thing you have to do is you have to have civilian review boards that they have the authority to fire an officer. Right now, they just give recommendations to the police commissioner. And the police commissioner many times puts it in the trash can. He does what he wants to. He or she does what they want to do. The civilian review board will decide after they fully investigate what action they want to take. Do we suspend him for 5 days? Do we suspend him for 30? Do we declare there's no problem here? He acted totally within his authority. But the power has to be given to the civilians. Out there with a gun, and a couple hundred black men were out there with a gun, that place would be cleared out immediately. It would never go in this law. And you know that. Double standard. Double standard in every part of this country. They got a double standard for the white and the young black people, young black boys and girls wanting to be police officers. In fact, it was not until I was in Ferguson that I learned this, and it blew my mind. In the white community, there's a thing called the talk. The talk in the white community is always about the birds and the bees, always. Well, I learned that the talk in the black community is not about that. The talk in the black community is about how to avoid confrontations with the police, how to avoid being brutalized by them, how to avoid being falsely arrested by the police. And they have to give that talk to young children as young as 10, 11, and 12 years old, to have to fear the police. And it's right. Unfortunately, they're right when they give that talk to their children, because it's necessary, because children have to realize there's no officer friendly anymore in the black community. That's a hell of a question. And the only way you're going to do that, and some people don't like me referring it, but you have to get white America involved. And I am trying to show white America. Listen, I'm no screaming Black Panther out here. I am a white former police captain, and I'm saying the black community is justified in their complaints. And nothing is going to change in this country until white America realizes what's going on. They did is they were going to go in front of the stores if rioting broke out to try to stop it. Listen, do not riot and loot this store. Well, guess what? In all of my watching the coverage of Ferguson, not one peacekeeper was ever shown. Because filthy, rich white men who own the media, they want white America to continue to fear the black animal. Because while we're divided and fearful of each other, they're stealing us blind. They're destroying our air. They're destroying our food. They're going to war to make profit. Because we're so involved in fighting each other, we don't even know what they're doing. So it's going to take white America for any change, and that's a big role of mine, trying to reach white America. Why am I not allowed to?
We're not bringing any signs or any protests.
Show me in black and white your policy.
I'm not going to show you anything. We're not bringing any protests. We step behind the
Okay, if I take the sign off, I can go in, right?
You're not going up to the prosecutor's office.
Everybody see the crowd here? Everybody see the crowd for one retired cop? But why am I not allowed? Can I go in without the sign?
Where are you going?
I'm going out in front of McGinty's office.
Yeah, unless you have an appointment.
No, this is a
This is where our money goes.
Oh, hold on. This is a public building. People have the right to enter. I'm a citizen. Are you telling me I don't have the right to enter?
Absolutely not. You don't have an appointment with the prosecutor.
I don't need an appointment to walk in here.
You're not protesting.
Are you violating my rights to walk in here?
You're not protesting inside.
Are you violating my rights to walk in here? If I walk in here, you're going to arrest me?
You're not walking
Or
in
if
with
I
signs
walk
for
in, if I
protesting.
attempt to walk in, are you going to arrest
I'm
me?
telling you, you're not coming in with these signs.
Okay, I will take my sign off. Are you going to arrest me for sticking up for black people in Cleveland?
I'm not arresting you for anything right
Then
now.
what will you arrest me for
I
when
didn't say you were
walk
under
in?
arrest. I told you you can't bring all these protesters into the building.
They're not protesters. They're members of this city. They're citizens of Cleveland.
Okay.
This
Taxpayers.
is open. This is open to the public.
Okay, step back, sir.
For what reason?
Closing the barricades. Step back.
What am I doing?
You're stepping back.
This is how justice works in Cleveland, folks.
Thank you.
All right, I'll take the sign off, and I'm going to come in as a citizen of this country. And you're going to arrest me?
Where are you going?
I'm going up to McGinty's office.
You need an appointment.
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
No, I'm not going in his office. I'm
No, you
standing
don't. No, you need
outside of his
appointments.
office.
Okay.
And you're going to stop me from doing
Yes,
that?
I'm going to stop you from doing it.
You're not. These guys will. Not you, pal.
We're Sheriff's Department.
And I appreciate these guys. They're doing their job.
Well, thank you.
And I know what they're doing.
All right.
All right, they got to do their job like that. You're trying to just bust balls.
Can't go,
And we'll see whose
can't go
balls you
sit in
bust.
the prosecutor's office.
Step back, please.
It's so busy because there's probably 2 people in
They're
there.
trying to say.
All right, now, you all see this?
Not like he's actually prosecuting it.
I'm going in as a public citizen here. When I take my... Hey, guys, do you get this? Look at this.
This is
You got a
what they
whole
do.
goddamn SWAT
Every
team.
day. But innocent people.
Okay, but these guys got it, right?
For innocent people.
Sheriff's Office. The gentleman here would like to speak to you regarding the prosecutor's.
No, that's not correct.
Okay. Did he have anybody?
We can't talk about, as you probably know, we're not allowed to talk about who testified.
Of course you can't talk about who testified. No. Oh, you can talk about the experts who testified.
No, we can't.
Okay, so it's that secret.
It's an open case.
You realize what that secrecy transmit to
That's
the
what
Cleveland community?
Those are as you know, those are the rules of the grand jury.
No,
So-
the rules are what Timothy McGinty wants them to be.
No, that's not the case.
He can tell the public, I had 2 FBI retired officials testify that the officer was justified in fearing for his life. McGinty can say that to the public.
I don't believe he said that, but
Okay, well, he can't say that, and that's what the media reported.
no, he couldn't say who testified before the grand jury. So he couldn't.
He can, of course he can say
But
2
I will
FBI
pass your
officials.
I will pass your card on to him and ask him to give you a call.
Okay, when do you think he might call me?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
He's out of the office. I'm not sure when he's coming back.
Okay, well, I take it he probably won't call me tonight.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, now can you call me and tell me, have the courtesy, you have the professional courtesy to call me and tell me that, hey, he's not going to call you. Could you at least do that so I'm not waiting by the phone?
Okay.
Okay, do you have a card? I gave you my card. Do you have a card? Okay, and right now you're saying you're going to be a professional enough to call me
We'll call you one way or the other.
one way or the other.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All righty, Joseph Froelich, Timothy McGinty's crony. Assistant said that he is going to speak with Timothy McGinty, and that he is going to let McGinty, give McGinty my phone number, and McGinty may call me back, he may not. Some of you all know the answer to that already. I'm not going to waste my evening waiting for his call, but I did ask the assistant to have the professional courtesy to give me a call back and let me know whether or not McGinty is going to call me. And he said he would. So I want to see if even the assistant has the professional integrity to call me back and say, Ray, you're not going to get a call from Timothy. I would just be curious as to does he have the humanity to call up and say, listen, you're not going to get a call. And I can almost bet he's not even going to have the humanity or the dignity to call me back. And if that's the kind of indignation shown towards the people of Cleveland, they don't give a damn, all right? They give you lip service. They give you lip service. And lip service is the first level of authoritative abuse. That's where it starts. Lip service is totally disrespectful to the person being spoken to. And that we'll see. I'll let you know what later if I do get a call from the assistant. Thanks a lot.
Call him.